Hello, I'm happy to provide the ESS PRISM update for fall 2022. One piece of good news, we have a paper based on the intervention that we did in the summer camps to change boys' beliefs about girls' STEM ability. We've resubmitted it now to Child Development, and we're hopeful it'll be accepted. We got a nice revise and resubmit, and I think we were able to handle the critiques quite well, and so hopefully we will soon have that paper accepted, our first one really from the core PRISM project. We are also ready to submit a second paper based on the intervention to change girls' career aspirations in STEM through changing their perceptions of future fit in STEM. And we should have that presented soon. And so both of our core interventions for boys and for girls in our summer camps projects are turning into what look to be really nice papers. We're also piloting as we're looking to pivot to working in schools now that COVID has ended. And, well, COVID has ended, well, not quite, but at least we can get into schools now, even though COVID hasn't ended, and that we've been held up because of restrictions based on COVID for the last 2 years, really. And now we're piloting a new social identity-based intervention in Burnaby schools this year. And so Rodham and Steve Wright have worked really hard at developing what I think is a promising and interesting intervention, and hopefully we will be able to test that intervention actually in schools. We're also developing in my lab, particularly Ariana Colmenares is working on developing a bias recall module for our interventions in schools. So we're starting out in the lab doing this. We've had a good beginning to that intervention, and it looks promising. Hopefully we will be able to bring that bias recall type of intervention to pilot in schools, probably in Toronto, hopefully this year as well. Which brings us to Toronto. We're working on doing more pilot work in Toronto schools, and we hope to do that in the spring this year. So this year really has mostly been about now that COVID is impacting schools less, trying to connect with those schools, getting them interested in working with us. And we hope to do interventions in both BC and Ontario high schools next year. So our plan is still to begin that intervention work next year, and we really think we're going to need this whole year to develop relationships and pilot the interventions that we hope to run. We have some good news. Rodham, who was a postdoc working with our team, got a job in Israel that started this fall. That's wonderful for Rodham. It works out really nicely for her and for her plans. It's bad news, though, for us because we need to hire. So we're looking for somebody to hire right now. Likely it would be a project manager this year. Maybe it could be a postdoc. And perhaps next year we may be, or later in the spring, be interested in hiring a postdoc. So we just wanted to make sure everybody knows that we have those positions coming up, and we're going to be looking to fill them this year. Thank you all for listening, and look forward to talking to you over the course of the conference. Take care.